Got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
We're at the oldest continually operating stadium in the NFL as you get a look inside Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
2 teams that have met at least twice a year since 1932. The Lions and Packers underway from Lambeau. This will be fielded at the 8. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They're led onto the field by the former third-round pick back in 2012, and that's the quarterback Nick Foles.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Foles. And incomplete to open things up. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. First carry for Nick Chubb. And now running right through it. It's a foot race. He's at the 40. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A big play that time out of Chubb. 59 yards for him on the ground. Great run there, but it looked like they were going to have him for the stop. He was able to push through. They didn't wrap up defensively.
No, they didn't. All credit to the runner for making it happen, breaking through some contact and going a long way. But the defensive guys, when they watch this on tape, they're not going to be real happy with themselves. They had a great opportunity that they let slip through their hands.
And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Here's Foles. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. He'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. And the Buffet boys, the O-line. Hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Let's take a look now at how Green Bay will line up defensively. And right now in the National Football League, they're ranked number 18 against the pass.
Take those rankings, throw them right out the window, because this is what you prepare for. This is what you practice for. This is what you think about. The ultimate test, taking on the #1 overall offense in the league.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. He'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on 4th down. They'll run. It's Henry. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
A couple of 1st downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on 1st down.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Caught on the right side by Dorsett. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Again to Henry. He'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 11 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown.
So he scored his 8th touchdown on the ground last week, and most guys I know, they want to get into round numbers. So, 10 is really the goal, and this is one sport where being selfish and scoring touchdowns is a good thing. Look for he and the offense to try and get him in there at least twice in this game.
On second down, here's Henry. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Back to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. No move to get the offense off the field here. They've converted once on this drive. On 4th, they'll go again and try it once more. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
First down carry for Henry. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a handoff to Henry. Down right around the 25. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
So many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down.
Watch it now, Barney!
They'll set up to throw. Dorsett making the catch. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands it a bit better.
So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
3-19!
He'll drop to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. In for the score. And the Lions are in for 6. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Tucker with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. And what a drive that was. 16 plays all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
Now Foles. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Lions will take over. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Going for the deep ball. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A big play there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Completes it to Powell. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Back to throw here. The left side throw complete to Adams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. First down, they'll run with Chubb. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
And while there is no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
This is caught inside the 15. Now, a loose football. The ball comes out, and I think the offense got it back. They did. Inside the 10-yard line, they avoid disaster. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers are back within a score.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Here comes Philip Dorsett now to return it. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. The first-round pick, Jair Alexander, making the tackle.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Now back to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A very solid gain of 27.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. They'll look to throw now on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. He'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 5 yards on the pickup, and just like that, it's 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Douglas. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He connected on his first, this from 41. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
So we have reached halftime with a visiting line. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. Returnable for Dorsett. Now a hit and a loose football. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
When you kick off and you go downfield and get the ball back, that's what I call a great opportunity.
In a one-score game, I always circle, and you know this, but in my play-by-play sheet, I circle big plays. It could be turning points. This could be a turning point.
Did you put a second circle around this one? This
I put a star. I put a star. His throw at about the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way. To the 3. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
They get it to him running left. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on second down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let them know right away I'm throwing it.
Now a hit, and Foles loses the football. It's out, and the Lions have recovered.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, there's going to be hot routes if they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback. They've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. On play action, they'll throw. Goodwin able to haul it in. A big play on 3rd down for the Lions. 44 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. And Charles, he's able to dive in there in a short yardage situation.
Just find a place to get to the end zone. Didn't matter where it was, but once he did, used his nose for the end zone and dove in.
Tucker with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. He got 29 yards that time.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Dumps this to his running back, Chubb. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's Foles. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Jalen Smith in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
But that takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Foles going to look deep for Wilson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See who can drive the bus here again on this drive. They go play action here on 1st down. It's caught right side. Dixon. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Lions add on to their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
And again, it's Chubb. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
They'll set up a throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. A good way there to have him bounce back from the interception last drive. Something underneath, a little bit of rhythm going.
I know the best ones in the league have supreme confidence, but every now and then you need a little booster, don't you? This is their way of protecting him and bringing him back, and then they'll turn him loose later, I would think.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. The Packers on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
They'll look to throw here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He finds Douglas complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. Well, how about what they look?
Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Looking to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they got an answer for it.
And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turns into a nice play.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is going to be Packer football. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Touchdown, Packers! As his guys are in for 6. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Santos with the extra point as this gets him back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So that drive, 4 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So out now come the Lions. Now, Charles, of course, you got to remember, last possession they fumbled. It led to a touchdown. 1-score game here. Got to be careful.
And this is where coaching and training really comes into play, doesn't it? What does everyone say after an error? Next play, move on, next drive. That mantra has to come to the front. They've got to take care of business right here and act like the last series just didn't happen.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Lucky 56. Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They keep it with Henry on 1st down. Oh, nice move. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive. But sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. That's caught on the left side by Kirk. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown, Detroit. In for the score. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. And let's count them up now. 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown receptions for him in this game.
And just one shy of the NFL record. What a great performance. Going up and catching the football, creating space, and finding the end zone. That's what it's all about.
That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop. The Packers on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Now Foles. Now a hit, and Foles loses the football. It's out. Got to be careful here. They need to move quickly, but it's also 4th. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Looks like he'll throw here. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
They pitch it out to Johnson. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. And now the Packers going to take another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Henry. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
Defense.
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Trying to punch it in with Henry. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Derrick Henry, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Lions add on to their lead. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line.
20.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Powers pass, and he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 46, and the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And the Lions will take the knee here with victory in the cards. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass.